welcome to CSL Charlotte. We are the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. So what we have in store for you today is a message, building a new identity through breath and embodiment. So listen very closely because Melissa's reading is going to focus on building a new identity because she's going to talk about how breath and embodiment works at the same time. So you got to get that part. So Melissa, make it do what it do.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. Identity, it's a powerful, powerful way of being and being conscious of. This morning's reading is right in line with that and how our identity is built. It's by Reverend Rosedale Jones. Identity is a signal. Identity is a broadcast. Identity is the frequency you live from. Nothing in your life can rise higher than the identity you are willing to embody. Identity is not built by wanting. Identity is not built by affirmations alone. Identity is not built by waiting for life to change. Identity is built through embodiment. It starts with teaching the body to signal. Because the truth is simple. The mind rehearses the identity and the body becomes the signal the field responds to. When the mind practices a new way of being, the body begins to recognize it and the field begins to organize around it. This is why we practice joy until the body knows it. We practice abundance until we can't identify lack anymore. And we don't wait for change. We become the body who can carry the identity. The breath is the sacred technology that makes this possible. Breath is where the signal becomes clear. With every inhale, the body expands. Power rises within us. The nervous system opens. The new identity has room to land. And with every exhale, the body softens. The old identity releases. The new signal settles into place. Some people call it calm. Some people call it peace. Some people call it alignment. But whatever word you choose, the breath is what makes the identity real. Because the breath is the bridge between the identity the mind rehearses, the signal the body broadcasts, and the response the field delivers. This is how we build a new identity. This is how we step into a new life. This is how we become the one who can hold the manifestation we're calling in. Inhale power. Exhale identity. In other words, you can finally say with truth and authenticity, this is who I am now. And here's a final quote by Reverend Rosedale. The mind rehearses the identity. The breath makes the signal clear, and the body becomes the field it responds to. And so it is.
So we're going to start with a short centering just to relax our eyes, to relax our body, and to just bring ourselves into the fold here. Breathe in. Remember the breath brings you power. And when you exhale peace. And as we allow the music of that song, God Is, by Faith Rivera, it just washed through us to remind us that we are something profound. God is not distant. God is not withholding anything from us. God is not somewhere trying for us to reach it. God is right here where you are. God is right there in your living room. God is where you are. And because God is right where we are constantly broadcasting. And everything we manifest is simply the field matching the signal we're sending. You heard the reading, but I'm going to just keep thinking about more things that reading said. So, question this morning for you, it's not what is God doing? The deeper question is, what am I broadcasting? Because the field, the infinite intelligence is all of that, the presence that God is points to and responds to the signal we embody. Not just the words we say, definitely not just the thoughts we think. Everybody think, all I gotta do is think positive. Maybe not. But the identity we have practiced into the body. So are you ready to focus on building a new identity through breath and embodiment? Because you know you're a choice, whether you choose to incorporate spiritual practices to get with that or not. But whatever you decide, just wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, your body, and your spirit back into one as you float your eyes, look around your space, find something there to bring you back to this present moment and allow yourself to figure out what is Reverend Rosedale talking about building a new identity through breath and embodiment. First of all, identity is a broadcast. Identity is also a frequency. It's the frequency you live from. Everything you manifest is simply the field matching the signal you're sending. For example, I don't feel worthy to be here in this place. And here you are, the big executive in some business, but you don't feel worthy to be there. You won't last too long. So what I want to talk about today is building a new identity through breath and embodiment. Because whatever you identify with is what you will live with, and what the signal that you're giving to the universe will match it back to you for you to manifest. See, identity, just like if you heard the reading, is not built on wanting. Oh, I want this, so I'm just going to say it. I'm going to have it. Come on. You know better now. It hasn't been happening. So obviously you need a little bit more work than that, right? Identity is not built by affirmations only. You know that you need a little bit more now. You didn't even try to make up the affirmations, right? You say these beautiful prayers and they sound so lofty, they sound so good. But did you embody that? Identity is not even built on waiting for life to change. That was important in the reading, I felt, because everybody's saying, well, after this situation, I'm going to do that. After my kids are finished with school, identity is built through embodiment. What do you want to embody? It starts by teaching the body that signal that you want to embody. Because the truth is, this is just plain and simple as this. The mind rehearses the identity we keep calling it. Oh, I'm upset with this one. Oh, and I'm so mad about that. Okay, you just stay mad, baby, because the body becomes the signal that the field responds to. You heard that in the reading. What the mind practices, what does it do? What does the mind practice? Whatever it is we're thinking about, whatever we're perceiving. Oh, I don't like the way that happened with so and so. Oh, I don't like this and all that. Mind your business and get within you. Go ahead, Ruby. The body begins to recognize whatever you practice, and it listens. The field begins to organize around it. See, this is why practice is necessary. Melissa said in the reading, we practice joy until the body knows it. So I don't say, oh, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. I practice it. I smile. That's the first thing. Once you put that smile in, all the cells begin to open up in you. So it's not like, I'm just happy, I'm happy. Oh, crap. Okay, stop it. We practice joy until the body knows it. That's embodiment. We practice abundance until we cannot even identify lack anymore. I told Alan a story this morning. I remember back in the day when I was trying to get everything started back in Florida, trying to say, oh, well, this is what I want to do. That's what I had to do it, but I needed that time. I needed to think about what I wanted, but I couldn't sit there and wait for change. You heard Melissa say, we don't wait for change. We become the person that, we become the body that carries that change. So what did this body want? This body decided to become this leader. This body decided to become this practitioner who was going to help people through their lives. And in helping them took me to all these different heights in my own life. My body has become the identity that's ready to carry that change. So I'm not waiting for change. I'm going to sit and be bored, if you call it bored, because if you don't want to sit there and do this, the nervous system is not going to respond to things because you wish they would come true. Okay, no. The nervous system is not going to do that. See, listen to this. It's true. The nervous system is a science term for the embodied signal, which is the spiritual term. Just know that. So the nervous system and the embodied signal is one and the same. So when I say those words, it's all true. Everything is science. We have all of these things going on in the body because it responds to what we practice repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. Our breath patterns, if they're shallow a lot, you know what we're practicing? Stress. Chronic stress. The muscle tone, when it's weak, you know what we're practicing? Chronic stress, because you're not doing anything for the body. It responds to us. The body responds to us. The field responds to the posture of our body. If you're like this, it's responding. If you feel like this and you walk it into it, it's responding. And you feel so good about what you do and who you are. Because the posture that we have, the pacing that we create with the breath paces the rhythm in the body. And that's how we get that internal rhythm going and this connection, the signal. And then all of a sudden you go and say something like, hey, I want a new car. Well, now you are the one that has the identity for this car. This happens every time you slow the breath. But you can go ahead and hyperventilate all you want and complain about this one is mad and you're angry and the job is sucking and la, and you go right ahead. But every time you soften that unnecessary tension, that posture the way you want it, and start pacing and your internal rhythm, your life changes. Kid you not. See, every time you bring awareness back into your body, you're not just having a nice moment. You're not just having a nice moment just because you're aware. You are installing this new philosophical, physiology. I can't get all these P's. Physiological. You are putting that physically. You're taking it from your spiritual realm and you're installing this baseline for your mind, body, and your spirit to begin to recognize each other. It's real. I mean, it sounds so easy, right? But it's not. You got to sit with you. And if you don't love you enough to sit with you, what makes you think anybody else will? Building a new identity is not just about building and changing your clothes or changing habits. It is to many levels on about changing habits and stuff, but maybe not your clothes. But you should take a shower every now and then. But no, listen, building is cellular. It's in your cells. It's a shift inside your cells. So actually, it's a profound truth that the breath is the bridge, because the breath changes the rhythm, the breath changes the cells, the smile and the breath changes a lot of physiological things. So the physiological function that happens on its own does two different things with the breath. You can let it happen automatically on its own, physiological, or it can also be voluntarily controlled by you. So the breath has two different functions. You heard me. You can either let it do whatever it does, the breath, or you can control it. Because when you come in to control it, you become a perfect tool for transformation. Here's how some of the research that may sound both spiritual and scientific, but check it out. In this organization called Frontiers in Human Neuroscience, what it has is they're showing that brain activity works to maintain the stable self-concept. Listen to my word, self-concept, how you see you. How you see you is the information that confirms who you think you are. Meaning that your brain prefers this thing called identity consistent evidence. So you continue to consistently tell you how you're a loser, how you're the queen, how you're the best. I love to say I'm the best at what I do. I love to say I'm a chosen person. Because I know if you believe when you say, oh, I feel so overlooked, if you believe that self-concept, you'll notice yourself being overlooked. If you believe when you say, I'm chosen, that self-concept that you got, you're going to act on all those great opportunities that pop up to you the minute you see them, because you're going to see them so quick because you already believe you're chosen. You're chosen. You won't even procrastinate if you feel like you're chosen. There won't be a thing because you feel like I'm chosen. Because that identity that you're carrying is like, whoa, that posture, what did I say? The pacing, all that stuff. Identity filters your perception. When you decide who you are, whatever you perceive the world as, I can handle that. I'm chosen, Melissa, too. But it doesn't stop there. Here's the thing. The other part of the research, it was on an identity-based motivation. And what it shows was that we naturally act in ways to match what we believe we are. So we're not just primarily motivated by writing down goals and putting dates that you're going to have this thing happen and writing affirmations. No. If that was the case, we'd all have it. No, we are going to act from what we believe. So we have to train our mind with those affirmations to be somebody else. Because in order to get something you never had, I'm saying it again, you have to become somebody you've never been. You have to identify with that person. If I see myself as disciplined, bam, then you know what? Discipline follows me so naturally. I can sit here. I have so many different projects that I work and so many different pockets all day long. Monday, I start this new program, a 12-week program on fitness, mind, body, and spirit. This thing is going to be another wipeout, and I'm going to have this whole community going crazy out here over this. I have to take time to do this stuff, but I have to take time and sit with me. But if I see myself as disciplined, guess what? It's going to be natural that I get that done. I get this talk done. I get my research for everything I do here because I enjoy all this. I get my practice done that I want to get to teach people for the week about the body. I get to do all of these things. But if I don't do anything at all, then nothing happens for me in my life. All I do is nothing. Now, on the other hand, if I see myself unworthy, I will unconsciously sabotage everything I do. And then you wonder, I can't believe I did that because you felt unworthy the whole time. We stand still or we don't move throughout life when we keep saying we don't deserve something. Identity drives behavior. You think you're worthless, your behavior is laying in the bed, doing nothing all day. And behavior shapes your whole environment. For years, they say these two words that kind of come together. For years, social psychology has shown us that there is power in self-fulfilling prophecy. I heard that so many years back in the 70s, self-fulfilling prophecy, before I even knew all about this. But now I'm combining all of this for Rosedale so she can continue to grow. And simply put, we become what we believe ourselves to be. So I can't be convinced that a person is unworthy. I can't be convinced that a person don't belong in this world. I can't be convinced that, because you know why? If you wasn't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be. How many people died at childbirth? How many people are not here today? It is not because they decided that I want to stay, and no, the universe does not do the opposite of what you want. At some point, you will be the signal to get it right. So some people that didn't get the suicide right, they didn't get it right because they wanted the signal. And I had that conversation with my daughter about a couple of months ago. I just make sure you know the signal wasn't on for you to go out of here. Many times I saw when I was coming up as a police officer, I saw times when I could have been killed, but it wasn't to happen. It wasn't for me. I cannot believe and will never believe that somebody is not supposed to be on this planet. Never. Can't change my belief on that one. So I changed my belief inside, and the outcomes that I see out there, they begin to shift. Not by my magic. There's no magic I got, but the way I get my body signal and the way I change my behavior when I need to. You embody all these signals because that's what you are. You broadcast through your posture. You broadcast through your tolerance. I can't, a minute. I can't take it. I can't do this because I'm mental. Come on. You broadcast through those emotional regulations that you choose not to accept. And how do you regulate your emotions? Sit with yourself. And then the world responds to that. The world respects that. Even if you're feeling unworthy, they respect your unworthiness, so they treat you like dirt. Yeah. Or they respond to the fact that you're saying that, listen, I'm chosen. I'm this queen. I'm this. I like saying I'm a queen because it feels good. Because I am a queen, right? But the world responds to that. And the world respects me because I can't demand any other thing, right? So what about you? Do your emotions repeatedly embody loser mentality, victimhood? Because over time, the field connects to your relationships, all the opportunities that are coming to you, but you don't see them because you're too busy over here whining about that. So you can't see that. All your habits and all the results will match the pattern that you're carrying in that body. Not because the universe is obeying some magical words. It's like this. I'm going to ask you this. What do you perceive? And you really got to ask and answer that question. You know what it is. Don't say, I'm waiting for an answer, because the answer is not coming to you out of nowhere. You know the answer. You're just afraid to look at it, because perception guides action. And you know good and darn well, if you change your perception to be be the queen or be this chosen one, you know you got to work for it, and you may not want to do the work. So perception guides action. So you know what? So if you perceive yourself the other way, guess what? I don't have to do anything, and everybody will just see me as poor me. No, they will not. You would just go out backwards in the world, but you ain't going nowhere until it's time. Action creates patterns. Patterns create your outcome. So have the pattern. And here's the real shift. You don't try harder at stuff. You change your identity. You change your identity. When identity shifts, your perception shifts. When your perception shifts, your behavior shifts. Next thing you know, you're saying, I had 5 interviews a day. I might not have gotten one of them, but I had them. But I was using my energy to go do it, because somewhere you keep banging, you're going to get it. But if you're doing nothing, that's exactly what you're going to get. So that is really not theology, but theology, what I'm talking about. That's neuroscience. We connect, we give signals. Yes, that's psychology. We connect through the mind. Everything starts in the mind. And also in the body. It's lived biology. You are always broadcasting something. But here's the question. What identity are you living from? Find that identity. You can't build a new identity while you're in stress response, because that's also called survival mode. So when I look at my deer out there sometimes and they hear a noise, that's survival mode. They have to stop still. They will not move. All of us have that. We were built this way. So survival mode can be ugly or beautiful, but it's your choice. But see, here's the thing. You can't live in survival mode all the time, because what fight or flight or survival mode does, it constantly scans for danger. That's all the brain has time to look at, the danger, what's coming next, what's going to happen next. You cannot have a peaceful evolution. You cannot have a transformation, because you're so busy going, where's the other shoe going to drop? Right? It becomes almost impossible for the body to become that clear signal that you need when your system wants to get out of that chronic stress. Right? But the breath calms. The body is an instrument. You need to train the mind and the body together. When your body becomes that finely tuned instrument, you can see your feedback honestly. Some people have a muted, they're on mute with the body, between the body and the mind, constantly on mute. Yes, they eat, they move, they stress, they just don't listen. There's no, it's all muted, right? And they do not feel the consequences of all of that stuff until something breaks down. I've been there. And when illness strikes, they're in panic mode. I've been there. That breakdown may be in their entire mind, body, spirit center. It is system. Okay. So when we take time to practice feeling the body, when we take time to really give that real-time awareness, that's when we start paying attention. When we start paying attention to how sensitive we are, this instrument becomes more and more sensitive to what it is. The field responds to the signal you broadcast. So train the mind, the body, and the spirit to work together so the field can get the signal right that you're looking to do. Because I've been Okay, here's another thing. It's not only just exercising and everything, it comes to food. I have this thing that I say, I don't eat for the taste, I eat for the effect. But I eat for both actually, because I've been eating my food for the effect on my body as much as I eat for the taste. Because let me tell you, I love good food, yummy food. I do. But anyway, my body is so tuned on now that it gives me a report card before, after, and during every bite. I just love it. But I just listen. That's the thing. I used to didn't listen. The other day, I was eating those bright orange, yellow, sweet peppers. Ooh, and they're packed with vitamin C. Yeah, that sounds great on paper. They were so sweet and yummy, but my body sent me a signal. And it was like a hit of a gas pain, just a little discomfort. And I'll be honest with you, there was a time in my life back in the day where I would completely ignore that and say, I'm eating this is good. But this time, what I decided to do was say, all right, what do I need to do? So I'm not muted. So when I'm feeling like I'm muted to the body, I say, oh, no, no, no. There was a time I was. Now, I remember being muted caused me to have the worst acid reflux where I thought my heart was going to jump out of my chest. I thought I was dying 20 years ago. And it got worse and worse and worse because I kept saying, oh, you can eat that. Oh, you could do this. Oh, you don't have to do that. I didn't practice the identity of listening to the body. When my body felt off, I pushed past it and said, like I could have done that with the sweet peppers. But guess what? Now I pay attention. So what happened was all my intuition told me to do was find something with density to go with the energy of the ground of these peppers. Let me tell you why. The veggies and the fruits are live. So you have to eat them a certain way in order for them to process with you. So I found out which was denser for me to eat to help my body process the peppers the way they should. I don't just say, oh, you can't eat them anymore. I have to find out because that's a health food. So wait a minute, there's something I need to add to do this with. I take that time with myself. I sit. Or if I'm in the car, I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I wonder what that happened. Because I got to do that. Now I got to go and do the research. Now I got to go to PubMed and start going, what is the rule about that? But there isn't. I don't have to rule the peppers out. What happens is everything I do now has to begin with how do you get this in your body in a healthy way so that the body can process this food for energy. Because next thing you know, if everything bothers you, you wouldn't be able to eat anything. So you got to figure out, I know I should be able to eat that because it's good. Packed with vitamin C. See, my body asks me for what it needs to live. Nowadays, if your intuition calls you and speaks to you, it's not going to speak to you through a voice. Hey, Rosedale, no. It's going to speak through me through my cravings. I don't ignore them anymore. If I say, oh, shoot, mac and cheese, oh, pot roast, okay, we're having that. Oh, Murasaki potatoes, oh, we're having that. I'm not going to say, because see what happens is I'm not going to ignore my body. I don't ignore it anymore. Even if I don't like doing the preparation work, I'm doing it anyway. Because I said intuition always, 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 always tells me what to do, but it don't always arrive in a voice from outside of me somewhere. It's not going to happen. It shows up in certain different signals in my body. Boom, it may feel something here. You might feel a little gassy. Whatever you feel, find out what you got to do about it so you can keep it moving. And see, you better believe this one thing. I follow my intuition now. I don't look for excuses as to why I don't hear anything because I'm not sitting there long enough to listen. I'm on the go. But if I'm on the go and I'm driving, I'm alone a lot. So I get a chance to listen. Because here's the deal. If I say I want a healthy and vital body, health and vitality, if I'm saying this is what I want, that's my new identity that I decided to be. So I have to be the person that carries that identity of a person who lives in health and vitality. I must become authentic enough to make the change. So I had to get the denser thing. So what I decided to do was get a pot roast to go with those peppers. It was delicious too. But just saying, I needed a dense meat. People think, oh, you can't eat meat. Oh, okay. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. That's your thing. But whether I feel like prepping that food or not, I'm going to do it. So when we begin to listen at the level that we need to listen to, but that signal gets so strong, and then we start to realize things that are so profound in our body. And here's the thing that's so profound. Our bodies are not random. Identity is a signal that we broadcast with. Identity is the frequency that you live from. Don't forget those two words, because everything we manifest is simply the field matching the signal we are sending. Identity is not something that you think about. Oh, I just want to be that. No, no, no. Identity is something your body you signal the field with. I want to be healthy, then do it. Notice and awareness is going to be everything you need, but you got to stay woke within you. You don't practice to become light, for example. You don't practice to become alive, because you're alive. Just like that. Same thing about light. You don't practice to be light. You need to remember that you have always been light, the light. Remember, we don't need any more words. Sometimes the heart understands mostly these beautiful things about us, especially the fact that we are light. So when you understand that through music, sometimes maybe you can understand that some of these musicians must be telling us the truth, science and spiritual way. So I invite you now to let your body stay soft, let your breath stay easy, and allow this next song to really speak directly to the light within you. So with that, just know that when you give today, understand what you're doing, because things change every time you hear a new talk. You are making an investment in consciousness. You aren't just making a donation. You are investing in a consciousness that has the power to change the world. I know it does, because it's changed my life. But you know what? You are also fueling what awakens all of us to building ourselves, to building the new identity through breath and embodiment. And you know what? That's the truth of who we are, the new identity. So I'm not speaking to you from some lecture or some kind of book. I like to say that because it's true. I'm speaking to you from a power. I'm speaking to you from something that has transformed my life. And I've experienced profound healings. And our investments that we give when we invest them into CSL Charlotte, they strengthen the signal. They help us create the spaces that, within us where we practice and where other people practice with us. And we all, like Timmy P said about the consciousness meeting, we all embody what we live. And we do this in real time, sitting with ourselves. So when you soften your guard, when you decide that I'm going to let these resources that I have within me circulate, then you begin to feel the same flow moving in your entire life just because you're circulating your resources. So align yourself. Align this with your giving, because when you do, you position yourself to actually change, to heal, and to prosper right along with your change. So I'm going to ask you this. Are you really ready to energize CSL Charlotte's mission for moving souls into building a new identity through our breath and embodiment? And if so, thank you for strengthening the signal through your giving. So we are looking at building a new identity this week through breath and embodiment. Now let's just anchor this even more deeply into who we are. So as we wrap up our time together, let's just rest with the fact that we are building a new identity through breath and embodiment. So we can just use this building identities through breath and embodiment so we can see who we are becoming every moment of our day, because we can see it by what we tell ourselves. Keep building so you can let go of memories that no longer serve you. Keep building so you can continue. You are controlling your own mind. Remember, the universe is always supporting you on your journey. And so until we meet again, building on, keep on building that new identity through breath and embodiment. And I will see you at the top. Make it a great day. And so it is.